Hello everyone, we are back with the 7th series. We interviewed for you surf legend, world champion, surf photographers, shapers, and many more. We hope you like the series and please stay tuned for more amazing news. Mahalo. Hello everyone and welcome to the 14th episode of the 7th series of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. Today with us from California, filmmaker Jack Coleman. We'll discuss with him about filming, surf movies, surf, and much more. Hi Jack, welcome to the show. Actually, ciao Jack. Welcome to the show.
Ciao.
Where are you today?
Ciao bello, from Allora. Come va? I am in Florida right now, the wonderful country of Florida, inside the United States. But yeah, I'm here for the Florida Film Festival, and tomorrow night I'll be showing Natural High here.
Exactly.
And yeah, just got in last night. I'm here for 4 days, or 3.5 days, and it's gonna be fun. This is they do the festival really good here. It's like really great location and accommodation, and they're really they really take care of like the creators and the athletes and stuff that come here, and they usually always have a nice little crew of people that they get out to the event. So it happens twice a year, and this is the last one of the year. So
it's like to be in a large family, right? You are surrounded by great surfers, good people, good vibes.
Yeah, and that's crazy because I come from a large family. So I have 8 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
There's nine of us all together. So I'm pretty used to all the madness and growing up in a big family. You always learn to adapt to certain situations. If there's chaos or a lot of people, and you got to just kind of adapt into every situation. So that's one of the great things about having a big family that I came from, has taught me to just make the most of what you got.
Exactly. So I think is a good start for a surf festival. Of course, all the people around you. It's like the madness, but it's a good thing. Good thing. So it's great to be there, I guess. So today, of course, we're gonna talk about Natural Eye that you just started to pre-announce to our listeners. And many other things. But the first question that I have for you is, in your opinion, what is the most important thing in surfing?
I think the most important thing in surfing is kind of having your own personal journey and connection to nature. I mean, that's what it's all for. I feel like it's. I mean, for me, it's the ultimate way of connecting yourself one with nature. You're in it, you're always studying it, trying to find swells and waiting for that moment, and those special moments where you get to surf with your friends when everything comes together. It's really rewarding in that sense. And then I think it's just so important for everyone to kind of have their own kind of personal church, like going in the water is a cleansing thing, and it's just rebirths you every time. I feel like that's the most important thing in surfing is like really having a connection with it, and what does it, or how does it benefit you, and how you can appreciate what it does for you personally, spiritually, physically, and mentally. It kind of, ticks all 3 of those boxes, which, basketball or soccer or baseball, it's kind of, I feel like they kind of are a little bit more of like an athletic type thing. And this is a little bit more of, quote unquote, spiritual kind of experience. Every time you're going out in a different element than like a sporting event or organized type thing. So it's all kind of based upon like what makes you and what helps you to kind of be a better person. I think surfing is just so incredible for that.
Yeah, it definitely helps, all of us to become like a better human being. Obviously, sometimes people get upset in the lineup, or maybe doesn't have like a good day. But
Yeah.
definitely, I see what you mean. It's a space that we all need, like is that contact with nature or with something more powerful that without maybe we'll be suffering, and with maybe our life improves. So very, very powerful. Yeah. And then, of course, the difference between basketball or football, whatever, is that that's like a kind of a team sport, while surf is still, it's you, wetsuit, your board, and the ocean, right? So
Yeah. My favorite part is not having a wetsuit. It's your
depends on where you surf, right? It depends on the temperature of the
I mean
water.
that's one of my. I love warm climates and warm water. I mean that's why I'm like still based out of Southern California, which can get a little bit chilly in the winter and stuff, but at least we have the opportunity to be surfing in our trunks. We had a great summer this year, and I was out there in trunks for maybe 3 months straight, and the water was really nice and nice weather, and yeah, in a couple of weeks I go to Hawaii. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I
I
guess
love the
like
tropics and stuff.
people that are living in Finland, maybe they need, or Norway, they need wetsuit, right?
Yeah,
All year long. And maybe, it's like, well, if you think about wetsuit as an invention, was so powerful, because at the end allow surfers and people to stay in the water long time, and
yeah,
surf more ways in a certain way. It's allowing, not in a certain way, it's allowing us to catch more waves. So we like that
yeah.
in general.
It's the greatest invention ever. Besides the surfboard, is the wetsuit.
Yeah. And talking about waves, what was the best wave so far that you ever surfed?
I would say definitely in Mexico, in Baja. I would say I had some of my best personal experiences of surfing. Couple in particular, like in northern Baja when I was 18 and I was young and hungry. I'd gotten you know, my first like real tubes where you're standing up in tubes, and I remember that having that session and sitting in a tube and just looking at my friend out at the shoulder, like those are just life-changing moments. But yeah, it's some northern Baja stuff, and then a lot of trips down deeper into Baja. I feel like I've had some of my best surfs, because now it's hard because I've moved into photography and video and stuff. So most of the time, when the waves are good, I'm usually shooting now. So, so I mean now I've learned to I've learned to just enjoy every type of surf, and yeah, I usually am able to surf when the waves are bad, because when they're good, like I prefer to shoot. I really
Yeah.
enjoy capturing surfing, especially when there's really good waves and a good surfer and a good location. It's like it's really fun and challenging to capture that.
Let's say that you are a very generous person and you leave the waves in the best conditions to other people.
Yeah, I do. I'm very generous. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, whoa, that's too good for me out there. It's like, I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah, sometimes, like question mark, like shall I go, or shall I film?
but
Uh,
yeah, well, I mean, I went to the Mentwise, and that was actually, I would say, my another location that I've gotten some of my best waves. I had a really good day at HT's and Burger World, and this was like before I was making films, when I was just a surfer, and I just kind of would go on. I remember we did the trip in 2003, so 20 years ago. But
wow.
yeah, I've had some great surf in my life, and yeah, that's why I'm content to just kind of enjoy capturing it now. And
And like in your surf films, you have an amazing lineup of surfers. So how does it work? How you come up with that? It's just like, do you plan it? You select? It's just like a kind of collage of several moments. How does it work? I'm very curious about.
Yeah, it's I mean that's like one of the funnest things for me when building a movie is like the foundation would be, the cast. So I like to keep my cast like kind of tight, and I think that, all of the subjects in my movies and the cast members are, we have some type of like relationship out of the water for the most part.
Okay.
A lot of them I'm really close with, and I've been friends with for a long time, and I just respect like how they go about surfing and how they go about like living their life. Like they do things that I find interesting other than their surfing, and I think that's really important because I mean I have footage of great surfers, and I mean some of the top surfers in the world. And I was, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to put that in my movie. Like I like to kind of keep it, like maybe some young guys, or every movie I always kind of like throw in like kind of a no name person that doesn't really have like a big name. I like that, like, because there's so many great surfers that just don't really, they're not into the whole professional scene and stuff. Justin Adams, for instance, or like Robin Keegle, and then the young kid in this movie, Kobe Hughes, who just turned 18 or just turned 20. So just some young guys that are coming up. Like I like to expose, to give them a platform, and then yeah, for the most part, it's like a pretty fun selection process to be like, whoa, this movie in particular, as I was editing it, I kind of was like, oh well, this couple cast members got taken out, and then I added another one, and so yeah, there's kind of a synergy to it all, and I feel like they all need to kind of flow together at some point. But yeah, for the most part, it's like long relationships that I have with all the surfers, and I really, I mean, love watching them surf. That's kind of one of the main things. Oh, well, I love watching them surf, and I love, the people they are outside of the water,
You
So
must
I'm
have
happy.
a huge archive of films of surfers, yeah?
Yeah. I started shooting surfing in 2009. So yeah, it's been almost, I'm going on 13, going on 14 years. So yeah, I have some
Wow.
stuff for sure. Yeah,
And some of them you will never release, as far as I understood, right? It's just like you keep them for you.
yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's kind of tricky. I mean, last year I was able to be at the Dahui shootout event. So I was there, the whole time, and got like amazing footage of John and Mason, and all the guys that were in the event and stuff. And it's kind of like, I mean, I made a little John YouTube video, but most of these guys are usually working on projects. So it's kind of like, I won't release it until maybe they release their projects. So it's
Okay.
kind of a touchy thing because
Of course.
if you don't really have a relationship with the surfer, but you have really great footage of them, yeah, a lot of times it just could go into the digital abyss and no one will ever see it. So
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
That's so
yeah,
big that maybe
yeah.
we don't pay attention. But the way you construct the film, yeah, is actually very creative. It's just not like footage and that's it, right? It's the soundtrack and the colors and the lenses. It's it's quite of what do you call it, unique, isn't it?
Well, yeah, thank you. That's what I try to do. Yeah, I don't think that there's any particular filmmakers that I'm like emulating. I try to do what I feel like would be interesting for people to watch. And yeah, I always take into account. I love colors. I love love all the things that go in. One of my favorite things is actually putting together soundtracks and kind of maybe that's what I'll do after this. Is maybe I'll be a DJ or something. So, but yeah, soundtracks so important. It's so fun
So
to do
amazing.
that.
But how do you select them? I mean, do you compose them yourself, or how does it work?
Yeah. Well, I have obviously a lot of friends, and as long as I've been around, I've always loved making back in the day it was mixtapes and then mixed CDs. So I've always kind of been doing that. And yeah, so I always am out, kind of like looking for songs that I feel are something that could go with what I'm shooting, a particular location or a particular surfer. I'm like, wow, this is a perfect song for Derek's part. Or so yeah, a lot of it's like I save a lot of songs, and I have like a little library of like, these are the good ones, and then this is whatever, and then they always kind of like work their way up. And it's when I'm working on a film, I'm really engulfed in all of that area that I have, say I have 30 songs and I can only fit 7 of them in there. So yeah, it's kind of like it all, like I let it fall into place as I'm editing it and watching the footage, and yeah, it's really fun.
They are
But yeah,
essential.
I mean, I do everything kind of. I do everything kind of on my own. But yeah, I have friends that they would check this song out or check this out.
Okay. So you have contributors to your to your filmmaking, right? Like your
Yeah,
friends, they like to have. Well, okay, that's cool.
yeah, for sure.
And yeah, but I think like they all go together. Like soundtrack and the image and the lenses, the colors that you portray. They are a perfect a melting pot of things, right? And the product at the end, it's very, 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 very nice. I mean, what I've seen, what I had the opportunity to see was I loved it. So congrats,
Nice.
really, really nice. And so if we go back to the first question, like what was the most important thing in surfing? And I am asking you the same, but for filmmaking. So what is the most important thing in filmmaking in your opinion? In your opinion?
Yeah, I think the most important thing in like surf movie filmmaking is kind of, it's kind of a cliche word, but yeah, inspire people to surf. Like when you watch a surf movie and it kind of makes you want to surf, like that's what the ultimate goal is. Because I remember growing up, watching Jack McCoy movies, and obviously Bruce Brown and Severson, and then moving on to in the 90s Taylor Steele. And yeah, it was a major part of me growing up, and it really was a way to, like we were just talking about, soundtracks and stuff, to present new. For me, I love presenting like new music that I know a lot of people won't hear. So a lot of people love my movies to get the soundtracks, and then they were like, wow, that song was amazing. And there's only a few songs a year that you get that are like, wow, this is one. But I always try to have one or two in each movie where it's just like everyone's really stoked on the song. And then obviously I want to like feature really great surfing, and make people like want to go surf after it. That's
Yeah,
kind of, I think the ultimate goal for me is like, yeah, just to get people like really really psyched on surfing. And because then it comes back to the first question, like it really connects you as a person to something that's bigger than yourself, which is the whole of the universe, and having like some kind of connection with something, because everyone can. It's hard to connect with something nowadays. There's so much distraction. So
But so I definitely agree with you on the fact that makes you want to surf because this morning I was preparing the interview, so I was looking in YouTube, in your YouTube channel, and I felt like two things. First, I really wanted to go to surf, and the second thing, like, looks so easy. Why I'm not able to do that? So I was like a bit you want to say you can put it in two ways, either inspired or depressed, like inspired because okay, I can do that, and then depressed, maybe I'm not really that good.
Oh no, that's when I realized too when I was younger. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to be a pro surfer. I'm not good enough. And like it was like it's really like, yeah, it's really amazing to see these guys make it look so easy.
Yeah.
They're really like they're just naturally gifted from God to surf a way that we all wish we could, I feel like. And yeah, I feel like all the cast members and in my movies and stuff, that's what I'm trying to do is like, wow, look at how like naturally gifted, don't you? I wish I could surf like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so natural eye, I mean, has been you are releasing, actually you are touring like all these surf moments like Surf Expo, or, like surf film festivals to project the video, right? To show the video to people. So tell me more about Natural Eye. It's like how long did it take from the moment of you thought about it till the final product, the final let's say creation took place?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the second 3-year project. Took me 3 years. So in
Wow.
2019, I released Zone Frequency. And I felt like, each movie I used to, I made one movie, it'd take me a year, and then it moved up to a year and a half, and then I spent 2 years. So each movie I've kind of been taking a little bit longer. And I feel like 3 years is like more than enough. I mean, to make a 35, 30 to 40 minute movie. And then these last, two years have been pretty challenging as far as everything that's happened
Yeah,
in the
of
world and
course.
stuff. So yeah, I spent 3 years on this project, and it was, obviously a lot more challenging than the last because, I say Australia was closed. And so I had to find other ways of kind of making it happen, but luckily, I live near Mexico, and, we were able to go to Hawaii, and so it was kind of like pieced together that way.
I perceived from what I've seen in YouTube that there is still a true Californian spirit that comes out from the movie, no matter where it was shot, right? But I
Yeah.
felt that vibe of like 70s, 80s California, no? Or is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what?
kind of. There's not very many California sections in the movie. There's a little bit of California
No, it's
surfing.
like the lenses. I actually don't know about where it was shot, but it's like the lenses,
Yeah,
the music, and that
yeah,
gave me that impression, like.
yeah. Well, I'm a California kid, born and raised Southern California, and lived there my whole life. Well, I lived there the majority of my life, and I'm based out of there. So yeah, I don't think there's any way to escape my
Yeah,
California
some influences, right?
and and the influences that I've succumbed to kind of get that feel, that have that kind of 70s feel on some of the sections. And I think that some of the equipment that my surfers use, really because I don't just shoot like shortboarding. So there's some longboarding, there's some fish and mid length and all different kinds of boards. And yeah, I'm fortunate to be based out of San Diego right now, which is, the mecca of board building almost in the world. So
Yeah.
I'm just surrounded by like just the best shapers like that ever lived and that are living right now. So yeah, pretty fortunate in that regard as well.
And tell me something, when you do like a surf film in general, do you have like an objective? behind. So what is the objective of your art?
Yeah, I think like we just discussed, I think that the objective of the art is to get people to want to make art or want to go surf or want to be better at whatever they're doing. You know, whenever you watch something that moves you, uh, it could be, you know, like maybe a carpenter watches the movie and was like, wow, like this is really cool. I really want to try to surf. Type thing to just touch everyone that watches it and kind of have a, you know, I always like to have a positive message that kind of underlines the film, you know, because I think I don't want to make it about like this is punk rock and surfing, shred the lip and do, you know, I really want to have like, you know, there's so many variables that come into surfing. There's like the family aspect, you know, either you're in a relationship or you have your own family or you grew up surfing with your brother or your best friend, and kind of the connection that surfing brings. You know, like all of my friends now are obviously, you know, like people I've met through surfing, and yeah, I think that to make a film that could touch everyone, not only just like hardcore surfers, which is, you know, pretty hard to kind of get, you know, that crowd, they just want like surf, but this is to have a movie that has some type of like a positive message that kind of underlying it, which is the message that we've been talking about. It's like, you know, having a connection with nature, with yourself, and those around you type. That's what I feel like Natural High is as well. I was able to get, you know, the surf legend John Peck, who is, you know, lives near where I was living in Southern California, and have him kind of preface the movie and be like the guru that kind of leads us through this journey. And yeah, I feel like feel like my latest movies over the last, you know, maybe with Zone Frequency and then this one, you know, like I really kind of making a movie that you could sit down with your kids and watch. There's there's no flipping off the camera and we're drinking beers, and, you know, like I want it to be like kind of wholesome, but really like, I don't know, really unique and groovy in its own way, to where I'm capturing surfing, the positive side of surfing, and the unique side, you know, like all the, you know, most of the cast members that are in my films always have you know, their own style. They're like their own individual people, and that's what I respect about them. And yeah, that's what I'm hoping to project with the movies.
It's difficult to please every kind of audience, you know, but at least if you can inspire some of them, I think you do the right thing, right? Because
yeah, exactly. It's so hard because I'm really like being an artist. You're like, there's so many highs and so many and the lows are low and the highs are highs, and I always reach that point where I've just struggled with it the last week. I'm like, oh my god, so and so's not gonna hate this, or I don't know, like, is anyone gonna like? But then I just can't. You can't really please everyone, and you can't. I'm not trying to please everyone, or I mean I'd love to please everyone. That's what I want to do, but yeah, there's just so many variables that go into everything that you can't please everyone, and you're gonna have people that are gonna maybe not connect with it, but that's life, you know. You can't. You gotta just charge on and hope that. I just hope that I'm doing more good than bad. That's kind of how I live my life. It's like give more than you take. So I feel like I'm trying to give. I give everything I can into these movies, and for some people, it really shows. You know, they have a really they connect with the films, and you know, obviously that's what it's all about. It's pretty epic. You know, when like I get a DM and like my kid, Zone Frequency is their favorite movie, and you know, it's like, wow, that's so cool.
That's cool. It's called that
So,
what keeps you going, right, as an artist, and it's like the most important thing when you're able to touch people in a certain way. Then it's so rewarding, I guess. So
yeah,
well
it
done.
is.
And so now, okay, you're touring for this, but you are preparing already some new projects. Are you working on top secret things that you cannot say, or you can share something about what's coming in the future?
Yeah, well, yeah, when it coming to an end of a 3-year project, I just finished the final export of this movie maybe a week ago, so
Okay.
I'm already kind of feel like I need to just decompress and take a few months off and kind of
Okay.
just cruise. But I'm already thinking like I can't do that. I want to get back to work. I want to like start shooting and I've felt like this movie in particular, Natural High, is kind of gonna maybe connect into the next movie that I'm gonna start working on.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and have it out maybe in a year and a half, to do my next one because I think 3 years is a little bit too long, to to wait. I'm just this one in particular. I wanted to turn around and start working on the next one. And I might have John Peck in the next movie as well because there's so much that he has to bring and has to offer, and I really wanted to keep this movie like pretty fast moving, like a surf movie, and not get too new agey or get too off the track. So
Okay.
try and keep surfing as the main focus. It's like I feel like it is. It's a performance surf movie. There's the main crux is like the surfing. I want it to be the main thing that stands out at the end of the thing. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I have like a few little side projects. I really like for instance, a lot of people like really watch YouTube a lot, and I have a YouTube channel, and it's very like it's not the most important thing to me. I don't really. It's kind of like just B-roll, C-roll stuff that I put on my YouTube, and so yeah, I'd always like to make some more YouTube videos and yeah, so the main thing is those. Yeah, I'm already kind of mapping out the next movie, like starting, in a couple weeks when I go to Hawaii. Because yeah, like I said, I want to turn it around a little bit quicker, and so yeah, that means I got to get out there and start shooting.
Okay, okay. So you already you should be like resting yourself, but you're already thinking to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I cannot stop the creative process, right? It's always have to be like ongoing.
Yeah.
And just we can remind everybody that they can find the full movie in Vimeo, right? Is it?
Yeah, it'll be on Vimeo on demand.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to release it to the public so the public could buy it like this Thursday or Friday.
Oh, okay, fantastic, fantastic. The
Yeah.
interview will be available on our podcast in like a month time, so that by then definitely
It'll
they
be
can.
it'll be out. Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
on Vimeo on demand. And
Okay.
yeah, Vimeo on demand's like it's a cool format. I like it because they give the creator like 90%
That's
of the
great.
sales. They just take a little bit off, and then I've had, I do have like an agency that had been working with all my older films, and they kind of like have control of them. And this way with Vimeo on demand, it's really simple. You just go to the thing, you buy it, and then you have the file, and you can put it anywhere you want on your computer, and it's kind of a simple process. And then I have like I don't know, I have full control of the movie as well,
That's great. We
and
encourage
yeah, that's why
people
I
to
choose.
go and buy it to support you as well. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. I feel like it's like a donate. It's kind of a donation.
yeah, exactly.
That's how that will fuel me to make the next one. That's how I've been able to kind of sustain because there's not very much money in filmmaking. I mean, there's none really at all. But I mean, you can if you make an endless summer movie.
Of course,
I mean,
that's it's money for like maybe 50 years.
yeah. I mean, surf movies, I mean, typically have a really short shelf life, and that's kind of like maybe on one of the other questions that you touched upon earlier. It's like, yeah, I want to make a movie that lasts, longer than I'm here. Yeah, so maybe in 2050, there'll be some kids watching like, oh, you should check this movie Natural High that was made in 2022. And that's really what I'm making movies for when I'm gone. It's kind of, I don't have any children. And I mean, I would love to someday, but I feel like all these movies are like each of my children. Yeah. And they're going to live longer than I'm here. So I just hope to touch people like down the road, like I remember when I saw Innermost Limits of Pure Fun by George Greeno, like changed my life. I was like, wow, this is like, I want to make movies like this, so yeah, I'm trying to make a movie that lasts longer than I'm here,
Yeah, exactly. But like it's also it depends of many factors. I had the opportunity to talk to Dana Brown, the son of Bob Brown, for the Endless Summer, right? And Dana himself, he created like amazing movies like Step into Liquid, like that are still going on today. So it's like a matter of portraying a generation, in my opinion. And then the second thing is the surfers that actually are surfing, if they are like becoming a kind of legend, if you want to say.
Yeah.
And the third thing I think is like, if you want to say innovation, but not like technological innovation. It's just like trying to add up something, that you could add with the selection of soundtrack, particular kind of music, or like you do sometimes with different kind of lenses, so that makes something unique, right?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I feel like Natural High, this one's got, I always like have different shapes in the movies, like Finless or this one's really kind of based around Ryan Birch and his shapes, which to me are very innovative, like the word you're saying. I mean, it's some of the pickle fork footage in particular was like Stephanie Gilmore and Ryan and Bryce Young riding these really innovative shapes. It's so unique and fresh and new. So yeah, hopefully, like down the road, it will be a reference for people to say, here's different shapes, surfboard shapes, and and Jack always has different shapes in his movies, and cool. Yeah, that's cool. Fun.
So we're gonna finish our interview with a short Q&A session. So please answer the first thing that comes up to your mind. Same question for every guest on the podcast. So, the best surfboard that you ever ridden?
Looking back on my whole surfing life, it's crazy. Probably, I feel like maybe when I was 18 years old, I remember I got a Sharp Eye, a Marcio Zuvi, who's crazy now. It's like so popular, but before he was just like a young shaper, and I got one of his boards, and I loved that board. And that, was 30 years ago or something when I was really young, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that was a board that sticks out to me. I remember I had a few Al Merricks that I really loved when I was a kid as well. But
favorite shaper of all time.
Yeah, is living right now, and he's one of my best friends. But Ryan Birch is my favorite. My favorite two shapers are Ryan Birch and Robin Keegle, who Robin does the Gato Heroi boards and the creme boards, and those are my two favorite shapers. And then I throw like Skip Fry in there and Derek Disney. Those are my four favorite shapers.
San Diego originals.
Yeah, that's right.
We talked about a lot about music before, so your personal question is a favorite song.
Wow, my favorite song of all time. Wow, that's a tough one because I have so many of these really old bands that I like that I can't think of the name of the song.
Tell me the name of the band.
Yeah, I would have to look up the it's crazy. Maybe I'll just go back to, I can remember when I was like in high school and stuff, I really was into like Led Zeppelin for a little bit. And I remember this one song, Over the Hills and Far Away, was one of my favorite songs of all time.
Okay.
And I would just say as a nice, easy answer, maybe that one, Led Zeppelin, Over the Hills and Far Away.
Cool. Legendary Led Zeppelin. Favorite surf spot?
My favorite surf spot, where I live right now. I really love Swami's. It's a surf spot in San Diego. It's a very in Encinitas. It's a very iconic spot. There's a little left, it's a right hand, like kind of point break, and it's very friendly, but it can hold up to 20 foot. It's one of the spots that gets good when it's really big, and it's super fun 250 days out of the year. I would say, Swami's is one of my favorite surf spots ever. And then, the other spot would be a secret. I could, but it's in Central Baja. Let's just put it that way.
We'll keep it like that. Favorite surfer of all time?
Favorite surfer of all time is hands down, it's Tom Curran. Tom Curran was just hit right when I was growing up, and he was like for all of us California kids growing up was the guy, and he still is to me. He's my favorite of all time.
And maybe one day you can shoot a movie with him, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've made friends with his daughter Leanne, and we've discussed it.
Okay.
And she's actually in California at the moment, but yeah, I mean that would be
amazing. Stay tuned for
maybe get Tom Curran in.
Why not? And the last question is a little bit unusual. We want to know your best relationship advice.
Best relationship advice is make sure that you find someone that allows you to be yourself, and they don't try and change you. You want to have a partner that allows you to kind of be yourself and do the things that you would that you'd like to do. And they don't, a lot of relationships, you always end up changing, or the person tries to change you into someone that they want you to be. So find someone that's really down to earth and grounded, and someone that allows you to grow in whatever you're doing, and you guys both vibe off of each other, and it's never a competition. It's like it's in inspiring each other to be better.
Definitely, very, very important.
That's important. And then another one is stay away from the relationship, because that's the easiest.
You cannot totally, right? So sooner or later you let them. Cool. Thanks a lot for being on the show with me today. I look forward to talk to you very soon, and I look forward for next week. I'm gonna buy the new movie, so it's
nice.
Hard to see it fully.
Nice. Thank you so much. That would be you'll be helping me out to make the next one, so that would be awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you. I wish you a great day, and look forward to talk to you soon.
Grazie. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao. Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!